Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we shall see the summary of all the 8 lessons in 12th standard. Let us see the summary in nutshell. First lesson, An Astrologer's Day. In this lesson, the writer R.K. Narayan tells about a special day in one person's life. This person is an astrologer. He was not an astrologer since beginning, means he did not start his career as an astrologer as his interest. He was from a village. When he was a silly youngster, he drank, gambled and quarrelled badly one day. In his rage of anger, he stabbed Guru Nayak and pushed him into a nearby well, leaving him for dying. But Guru Nayak was saved by some passerby. It was obvious that Guru Nayak would take revenge on him. So, he left that village and settled in a town. In order to hide his identity, he started the profession of an astrologer. Due to the typical appearance of an astrologer, nobody could identify him. The particular and special day in the astrologer's life here is important because that day the astrologer becomes tension-free and also he gets much money from only one customer, that is Guru Nayak. In the appearance of an astrologer, Guru Nayak does not identify the person who had tried to kill him some years ago. Guru Nayak was in search of the person who had tried to kill him, but when he comes in front of him, he doesn't identify him. The astrologer comes to know that Guru Nayak wants to choke out the life of his killer if he meets him. The astrologer tells Guru Nayak that the person who tried to kill him, means Guru Nayak, was crushed under a lorry 4 months ago in a far-off town and also told him not to travel southward again. Now, Guru Nayak will not search for his murderer as his murderer was dead. Means the astrologer was relieved out of lifetime's stress and also got much money that day. His profession of astrology had given him double benefit, relief from stress forever and also money. Second lesson, on saying please. In this lesson, the writer H.G. Gardiner points out the value of good manners in social life and emphasizes the importance of courtesy and politeness in daily behavior. He shows how polite speech and manners sweeten the atmosphere around and how discourtesy and ill manners spoil and pollute it. The writer gives an example of the liftman and the passenger. The young liftman threw a passenger out of his lift and was fined. The reason was that the passenger had not said him please. For the chain of bad temper and bad manners, the writer gives another example of Sir Anthony Absolute, Captain Absolute, Fag and Page Boy. Unlike this chain, there is also a chain of good manners and good temper. For this, the writer gives an example of the polite bus conductor who, with his good and polite behavior, always sweetened the atmosphere in his bus and spread positivity around him. The writer concludes the lesson by giving the story of Chesterfield. Third lesson, the Corp and the Anthem. In American English, Corp means police and Anthem means prayer song. The Corp and the Anthem is about confinement. Here, the main character is Soapy. Soapy is a vagabond, means he has no home. He is a person with criminal background. He has no family and friends. To protect himself from the severe cold of winter, he wants to re-enter the prison. For that, he must commit some crime. In this story, the writer O. Henry tells about Soapy's 5 futile attempts to get arrested in a very humorous way. These 5 attempts are: first, trying to enter a luxurious cafe, eating some dishes there and not paying the bill. Second, breaking a glass window of a shop with stone. Third, eating food in a restaurant and not paying bill. Fourth, conducting disorderly in front of a glittering theatre. And fifth, stealing a silk umbrella. But all these 5 attempts to get arrested are failure. In the evening, he is returning to the park bench to take shelter. On an unusually quiet corner, Soapy hears the anthem being played in the church. These solemn and sweet organ notes transform, means change his soul. He remembers his good old days and he resolves to work hard. He wants to be somebody in the world. But at that time, Corp arrests him for wandering aimlessly in the churchyard. Soapy faces the irony of fate as the moment he realizes the real freedom lies in a virtuous life, he is taken into confinement. Here, Corp represents the law of the country and the anthem represents Soapy's desire to reform. Fourth lesson, Big Data, Big Insights. The lesson is about information technology. Data means information. There are many units to measure data. KB, MB, GB, PB, exabytes like this. Big data can be petabytes or exabytes of data consisting of billions or trillions of records of millions of people from different sources like web, sales, customer contact center, social media, mobile data, and so on. Big data is easy to obtain, but big data analytics is a complex process. Big data means too much information, and big insights means what the organizations do with the huge data, how they can have innumerable advantages with this huge data. There are different uses of big data like location tracking, understanding weather patterns, healthcare industry, banking, finance and trading, sports, advertising, entertainment and media, and education industry. It is helpful in scientific researches, understanding geographical phenomena, helping in the smooth working of the government machinery, etc. It is a genie in our hands. It lies in our hands to make the optimum use of it for the benefit of mankind. Then 1.5, The New Dress. The lesson is written by Virginia Woolf. Virginia Woolf has employed the stream of consciousness technique very effectively in this lesson. The story is about Mabel Waring. Mabel Waring makes a new yellow dress to wear in the party at Mrs. Dalloway, who is a rich and socially prominent lady. Mabel herself chooses a design, color and pattern of the dress, but when she goes to the party, she keeps thinking that her new dress is old-fashioned and everyone in the party is mocking at her dress. She comes under the spell of her negative mind. She thinks that she is a fly at the edge of the saucer, drowning deep and deep. In depression, she leaves the party. The writer states the flow of the thoughts in her mind in this lesson. The writer has used stream of consciousness to show Mabel's suppressed desires, unfulfilled ambitions, and meager financial condition of her childhood. Then let us turn to the next lesson, 1.6, Into the Wild. This lesson is divided into two parts. First part, Lost in the Jungle, and second part, Tracking the Panther of Nagarhole. The first part, that is Lost in the Jungle, is about the writer Kiran Purandari's experience when he was completely lost in the jungles of Umbazara. He narrates how he lost his way at the fall of the dusk and the terrifying turmoil he underwent thereafter. He also gives a detailed description of how he found his way towards Piteșeri. Part 2 is about Shah Chung, who is a wildlife photographer. He is also a cinematographer, big cat tracker, and man-animal conflict resolution seeker. Here, the writer tells about Shah Jung's entry from a career of finance to the world of wildlife photography. He became popular worldwide for tracking Saya through his camera. Saya is the world's first black panther, the behavior of which is being documented so intimately on camera by tracking its movements. The lesson also tells about his efforts for the conservation of forests by establishing the agency BCRTI. BCRTI means the Buffer Conflict Resolution Trust of India. Through this agency, Shah Chung gives vocational training to the local rural people on the merits of conservation and also to help them benefit from tourist currency. Then 1.7, Why We Travel. Why We Travel is an essay. Here, the writer Siddharth Pico Raghavan Iyer explores the reasons for his passion to travel and shares them with the readers. According to the writer, the reasons for traveling are to lose ourselves, to find ourselves, to open our hearts and eyes, to learn more about the world and to get knowledge. He tells the difference between the tourist and the traveler. Travel is just a quick way to keep our minds mobile and awake. Last lesson, Voyaging Towards Excellence. Voyaging Towards Excellence is written by a prolific writer, Achyut Godbole. This is his autobiographical sketch. Here, Achyut Godbole depicts his journey from a middle-class schoolboy to a famous writer. He was a successful general manager of Patni Computer Systems. The lesson discusses his quest for excellence, how he developed a thirst for knowledge. He discusses the essential things for success and the ways to achieve it. Achyut Godbole had a very simple upbringing, means he belonged to a lower middle class family in the childhood. But culturally, he had a rich childhood and heritage. He believes that along with science and technology, all arts are equally important. He is of the view that arts, music and literature enrich our lives and put meaning to our existence. When he was in 7th standard, he solved the problems of 9th standard. He had a problem-solving attitude. When he appeared for JEE entrance exam, this problem-solving attitude helped him a lot. His problem-solving attitude helped him in his life also. In IIT, he had developed inferiority complex due to his poor English. He had to experience the feeling of humiliation and felt depressed due to his weak English vocabulary, terrible pronunciations and awkward sentence structures. But he tried his best and overcame all the difficulties and challenges and excelled in language, became confident and became a role model for others by achieving success in many fields. Dear students, all the best for your board exam.